Hey guys, it's Danny. Alrighty, today I'm gonna show you my Cattleya seedling collection. Yes, I do have more seedlings, and you know me, I'm not very fond of seedlings because I'm not okay with waiting, but that mentality is not really all that present anymore because, well, I finally settled down. A few years ago, I was not sure if I'm gonna remain in that apartment or if I would move out, so I was oriented more towards instant results or fast results rather than seedlings. But now, hey, I have all the time in the world to wait and I can entertain myself with the other orchids. Anyway, so these are my seedlings. You don't know them, most of them I guess. And the first thing you'll observe is that yes, no more white pots. I told you guys, I think I purchased all of the white pots that I found around, in my town at least, and I'm just not gonna go to a different town to find white pots. But I think I nailed it with these colorful pots. If you remember, I tried something with some pastel colors, which I like, but they really didn't go well with the shelving. And I know why. It's because the shelving is a warm brown color. The pastel colors had a cool undertone to them. So it's like foundation for those of you who use it. When you don't get your undertone correctly, things are just off. Well, that was the case with the other decorative containers as well. But I think these colors, which I hope you can see, they're all warm and saturated and deep colors. I think they go really well with my shelving. So it doesn't really look all that weird anymore, I would say. I personally find that they're okay, they don't look so bad, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, second thing before we get into the collection, yes, these pots are very big for what I have in them. And I know some of you will be tempted to leave a comment, but before you do, check the description down below. I have a video in which I explain why in semi-hydroponics, size is not as important in this department as it would be if you would use organic medium. So with those two things out of the way, let us get into the collection and show you my prides and joys when it comes to seedlings. So first off, this is the Cattleya warscewiczii. Hopefully I'm pronouncing this correctly. This is a species Cattleya and it's one of the most popular Cattleyas you can purchase. There are many crosses of this orchid. It is a very old discovered Cattleya orchid. The flowers are super big, they're pink, fluffy, and if I'm not mistaken, even fragrant. I will try to add a picture somewhere on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. This is a pretty big Cattleya as far as I know. So what you see right here has a long way to go, maybe 3, 4, even 5 years. If I manage to take good care of it, I don't think it's gonna take 5 years, maybe less than that. And here's another aspect of the semi-hydroponics and the big pots. I don't intend to disturb these seedlings. Every disturbing of the root system, particularly with Cattleyas, which are notorious to be sensitive to root disturbance, so the more I disturb it, the more I set it back, the more I have to wait for flowers. Not what I want. I want to pot it up here, let it live here for the next few years. There is no reason to repot it unless it gets too big for the pot. But there you go, the pot is already kind of big, so it's not gonna happen very soon. I have no decomposing medium and absolutely no reason to repot on a regular basis. Reason why I kind of love semi-hydro. So my little seedling, as you can see, is formed from several few seedlings. Whenever you purchase a seedling like this, pretty much no matter the nursery, there is a high chance you will receive several seedlings because when they deflask orchids, they cannot really separate each one individually. Sometimes they're just so stuck together and so tiny that it's impossible. And if you try to split them up, you're gonna damage them. So rather than losing 3 seedlings, they just pot them up all together and there you go, bushy orchid from the get-go. So this is a case with most of my seedlings I discovered when I repotted them. There are multiple plants, but the problem is each individual plant is really tiny. But I would say this one looks very good. I don't see shriveled pseudobulbs. You can see the leaves are plump. Whenever Cattleyas are dehydrated, you will see it in the leaves as well. The leaves will have a sort of texture, tiny little bumps on the surface. So as you will see, my seedlings don't have that, and this is because they do have a nice root system, so I have no doubt in my mind that they will grow just fine. And P.S. all of these seedlings come from a nursery called MissOrchidGirl from Germany, and I managed to acquire them through Jessica. Next up, we have the Cattleya Hardyana variety semi-alba, which I have to tell you guys I prefer over the Hardyana because I'm a creature of contrast. I like white contrasting with any other color, and the semi-alba, just like the name suggests, is half white, half other colors. And in my mind is just a beautiful creature. Now this is a hybrid, it's a primary hybrid between the Cattleya warscewiczii, and it's a variety of the warscewiczii. By the way, you're gonna have all of these names in the description down below. It's easier to copy paste that way rather than just showing you the name on the screen and you having to type it, right? So you'll find all of these names in order of appearance down below. So it's a hybrid between the warscewiczii and the dowiana variety rosita. This one sounds special because the dowiana is one of the most coveted Cattleya species that you can have. And I do have it. It's a seedling. You're gonna see. So yet again, this one is formed by multiple tiny seedlings, but it's a little bit bigger than the warscewiczii. As you can see, this is the biggest pseudobulb, which is not very big. But anyway, it has a new growth. I can see it at the base right there. And yet again, you can see this orchid is not dehydrated. The pseudobulbs have slight ridges, but this is okay. When pseudobulbs have vertical ridges that are very symmetrical, there is a high chance this is how the pseudobulb is supposed to look like. If the ridges are actually not uniform, more like lines or wrinkles, then that's when you should worry. That's a sign of dehydration. But if they're very symmetrical, as you can see, vertical, I suggest you don't worry, at least not until you Google this orchid and see how the pseudobulbs are supposed to look like. Most probably it's normal. So the Hardyana is yet again one of those fascinating orchids that people want to have, but if you're gonna purchase it at a mature state, it's gonna be very, very expensive. So a seedling actually makes sense from the point of view of price. Now there is a Hardyana that is a cross between the golden variety of the dowiana. So the picture you saw on the screen is just a guide. I'm not entirely sure how these orchids should look like, but you know me, I like surprises. In about 3, 4, or 5 years time, I'm gonna find out and I'm gonna let you guys know. Next up, since we're talking about it, this is the Cattleya Doana variety Aurea. Rosita. And this you might already know. I received it last summer, and it didn't really have roots. It didn't look all that well for quite a while. I potted it first up in semi-hydro in a transparent pot. I saw the roots starting to grow really beautifully, so I decided I'm going to repot it in this type of pot, just like the others. Of course, I did not remove the medium attached to the roots. I disturbed it very, very little, if at all. So there we go. As I was saying, she didn't have roots, but she created these 2 new growths, as you can see, kind of tiny in comparison to this bulb. But hey, it's a seedling. It didn't have roots. I can understand it. Now it does have roots. And this little pseudobulb, even though it's tiny, it has a pretty large leaf. That's fabulous because the more leaves we have, the more photosynthesis and the more food we produce. So I'm expecting the next pseudobulb to be a little better than this. But I think you've already known the dowiana, so I'm not going to insist too much on it because you might already seen it in previous videos. Next up, we have the Cattleya lueddemanniana, Cerro Verde, and I've completely butchered that. No. So it's the lueddemanniana variety, or SA. I'm not sure what this SA means. Cerro Verde, cross S, probably cross self. So Cerro Verde, I'm not entirely sure how this is supposed to look like, but the proper lueddemanniana is yet again a purple orchid, really fluffy, and I suppose really big flowered, considering the pictures that I see on the internet. Wow, she's huge. And yet again, I suppose fragrant. Most of these Cattleyas, which are fluffy flowered, big flowers, they do have a fragrance, usually in the floral range of scents, which is always nice. I think floral is a scent that pretty much everybody likes. Or should I say nobody actually really hates, really dislikes. As you can see, yet again, I do have a pretty bushy orchid, but it is formed out of multiple orchids. It's not just one. And this is the biggest pseudobulb that it has. It is maturing now, and yet again, you can see it is not dehydrated. I've had these seedlings for about a month or a month and a half already, and they look spectacular. Next up, we have another Hardyana, but this is a different cross. You can see it's not semi-alba. This is a dowiana variety Rosita cross with warscewiczii ceruleum. So yet again, I'm not sure what will sprout from this, what flowers will have. Probably they will not be semi-alba flowers, meaning half white, but that's okay. Hardyana is a beautiful, beautiful orchid anyway. This one is tinier. I think here I only have 1 or 2 plants. I don't have a multiple clump of plants, but that's okay. You can see she's pretty tall already, and we do have quite a few nice roots. I need to water these orchids today. Seedlings usually require much more water than the mature counterparts because they don't have all that much storage, so they're not as hardy to drought, and I'm not about to let them starve, so today I will water them. You can see there isn't much difference between these seedlings. Practically you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all. When they're tiny, they don't present that much difference between them, but as they grow, they do develop into their own, they become their own individuals, well, apart from the flowers. And to be fully honest, I'm not entirely sure which of these is supposed to be bifoliate. When Cattleyas are seedlings, they don't show their bifoliate nature. I think the Dowiana is a bifoliate, but I might be wrong. However, though, when they're tiny, it is very, very normal for Cattleya seedlings to only produce 1 leaf. As they grow, they will start to show their bifoliate nature and eventually just produce bifoliate bulbs as long as they're properly hydrated and properly cared for. Whenever a Cattleya goes a little bit stressed and it lacks something, it will produce unifoliate bulbs. I'm referring here to species. The crosses, they can glitch out, but the species, the proper species, usually when they're stressed, they will produce unifoliate bulbs, and when they're good, they will produce bifoliate bulbs. Of course, if you have a unifoliate Cattleya across the board, this rule does not apply. I'm just referring to bifoliates now. So this was the other Hardyana, and the last seedling that I have. What are you? You are the, Cattleya Teriumphans. I don't remember how you look like. Hold on. Alrighty. This is a beautiful one. So yet again, we have that beautiful contrast between the sepals and petals that are very light in color. Then we have a colorful lip. So this is another cross. It's a primary hybrid between the Cattleya rex and the Cattleya Doana. Variety Rosita. So all of these are Rosita hybrids. I don't have any Aurea hybrids. So this might actually influence a little bit the outcome. Yet again, the pictures that I'm just showing you are the pictures I find on Google. There is a high chance that I'm gonna have a different looking orchid because I'm not sure if the orchids on the internet were crossed with the Aurea or Rosita. Now with the Dowiana, the Aurea has more of a golden vibe to it. The petals and sepals are golden while the lip has that beautiful multicolored cascade. The Rosita has pink sepals and petals. Pretty much that's the difference between them. So inevitably that trait will pass on to the seedlings and they will look different than if they were obtained using the Aurea variety. So there we go. The same species, different variety, different looking hybrids. I will say though that they are very good looking seedlings. I mean, I didn't have many seedlings in the past, but I did watch videos from you guys unboxing or growing Cattleya seedlings from other nurseries, and I have to say, these guys look good. Except for the Dowiana. Dowiana was an eBay purchase. She's only one, not a clump, but the other ones that came from this nursery, the MSB, I'm pretty impressed, I have to say, for seedlings. They look really, really good, and they were in very good condition as well. So if you're interested in seedlings, I would have to give my seal of approval to this nursery. It looks really great. And all of the seedlings that I received from them just look very healthy. All of them, none of them had root issues or anything of the sorts. You can see none of them are actually dehydrated. And if you guys have experience with this nursery, just leave a comment down below telling us how the orchids are. And hopefully this will help out people decide if they want to purchase from there. So alrighty guys, these were my Cattleya seedlings. I'm not sure if I have any other. I might, but not at this stage. They're bigger than this. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully in the least amount of years we're gonna see them bloom. And you know the drill. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel for regular orchid videos, and don't forget to turn on notifications. Click that bell icon so you get notified whenever I post a video. And with that said, I'll see you all next time. Bye!